in the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. This is Carolina Week.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us for the March 7th edition of Carolina Week. I'm Bridget Williams.
And I'm Brooke Baldwin. We're proud to be bringing you coverage of Carolina news and events.
In any university town, you'll hear a lot about the importance of the town-gown relationship.
Here in Chapel Hill, the relationship has been a bit rocky lately, particularly regarding development of attractive land near campus. Investigative reporter Holly Hedrick joins us. Holly, now there's another point of contention.
Well, university officials are quite upset about the new development fees the town's recently put into place. With lots of campus construction planned, the new fees could wind up costing the university a bundle. Familiar sounds of construction on the campus of UNC-Chapel Hill. They're sounds that will be with us for a while, courtesy of the Capital Improvements Plan. The plan calls for 3 new university buildings and renovations to many more during the next 8 years, paid for with $500 million from the bond referendum passed last November. But UNC won't get to use all the bond money, though. The town of Chapel Hill gets a sizable chunk in development fees. Fees the town raised shortly before North Carolina voters approved the bond referendum. Town Council member Bill Strom says the city was losing money under the old fee schedule.
We left staff make the recommendations of how they best thought they could recover the full costs of current development.
The planning department sent this memo on June 27th last year, stating that the town's new fee schedule would go into effect July 1st, a quick 3 days later. Carolina's chief facilities planner, Bruce Runberg, says that's a bit out of the ordinary.
The announcement of the proposed increase was very short-fused. Candidly, that is not typical of the town.
Not only did town officials not provide much notice that the fees were changing, the amount of the increase came as a shock to those who would have to pay. For example, the fee for a site plan review of a 150,000 square foot building would have cost less than $4,000 under the old rates, but now costs more than $27,000, 7 times more than before. Chapel Hill senior planning technician Kay Tapp says a site plan review is a fairly simple process.
When you're going through site plan approval, you go to the planning board. They approve it.
And that's it.
Right.
Planning board member John Hawkins says it doesn't take very long.
It varies, but it's generally about half an hour to an hour and a half.
And the $27,000 fee?
Sounds kind of high to me.
Strom counters that it's unfair to single out one part of the overall fee structure. But there are big increases in other fees also. Where does the money go?
It's going to the overall operation of the planning department.
So the planning department gets the money.
No, it goes into the general fund.
And the general fund is used for lots of things that have nothing to do with construction. As the university expands and the population of the town increases, the town needs more money for things like parks, police protection, and highways. But university officials say they shouldn't have to foot the bill for services and infrastructure that everyone uses.
I don't think that's the fairest way that the town could take a go at that.
Former Carolina Student Body President Aaron Nelson now works for university relations.
Right now, when the town constructs a building, they don't subject themselves to these fees. We presented to them our desire to be exempt from those fees, and they disagree. If we want chocolate and the town wants vanilla, we get vanilla.
But UNC Wilmington is exempt from these types of fees.
And I'm fairly sure there's no $27,000 fee that I know of.
UNCW Vice Chancellor for Business Affairs, Tim Jordan.
Basically, we are allowed to do most of the planning for our own buildings right here on campus, just subject to state approval.
Lundberg says no other school in the UNC system has to pay such high development fees.
We really think that it's inappropriate that they charge that fee, because it hits us hardest, and they know that.
North Carolina Central and NC State don't have to pay much. Site plan reviews in Durham and Raleigh cost only a flat $100 application fee. For the same type of review, Chapel Hill charges tens of thousands of dollars.
And that money, incidentally, I might add, for those fees for the reviews comes out of the project dollars. That means that's less money that we can put into a given project for the university.
UNC-Chapel Hill sought exemption. The town denied the request.
The town did not provide any clear reason on why the university would not be exempted from these fees. It's tax dollars. They're your dollars that you're asking for back. Is that the best use of taxpayer dollars? I don't know.
Developers also have to pay the fees, and many of them we spoke to say they'll quit building in Chapel Hill and take their business elsewhere. UNC-Chapel Hill doesn't have that option. Mayor Rosemary Waldorf says town officials will look at the fees again when they review the budget this summer.
So is there a chance they'll overturn the new fees or maybe reduce them?
Well, council members are still in disagreement as to whether these development fees are appropriate. They're probably going to discuss them and debate them much more in the upcoming council meetings.
And we'll be following those developments. Thanks, Holly.
In this week's Speak Out segment, students share their ideas about the importance of a good relationship between the town and the university.
I think that while it is a benefit for the town and university to get along because they are so closely tied together in some aspects, that they are separate entities. So if they do disagree on some things, then it wouldn't be a major issue.
Yeah, I think it's important for them to have a good relationship because the college students are really part of the town, and I mean, they do interact with a lot of businesses around campus and stuff like that.
The students make up such a big part of the population here during the school year. Students have a lot to offer for this community, and I think it's just really important that we keep a good relationship with the people who live here.
Students are the community. We are bringing so many profits to the community. A lot of the businesses are benefiting. And I just think that the community should pay attention and to respect the role and understand the role that the university has here.
Our sample of opinions is in no way scientific and shouldn't be taken as a widespread reflection on our campus.
UNC School of Nursing officials can sleep more soundly now that they have a new lab to study. Sleep. Faculty and students gathered at the School of Nursing for the ribbon-cutting ceremony, marking the official opening of the new biobehavioral laboratory this week. The $650,000 renovation project caps more than a decade of planning for the expansion of the original lab, built in 1989. The renovations include 2 rooms designed for studies of factors that affect an individual's sleep. Overall, there's 3 times more space now. Researchers will use the lab to measure biological and physiological markers that signal changes in health and to develop interventions for nurses to use in dealing with disease. UNC School of Nursing Dean Linda Cronenwett says the lab has other benefits too.
It means that we position ourselves well with other schools of nursing for faculty recruitment and for improving the quality of the research that we do. It's very exciting.
Because of the extra space, nursing school officials will be able to purchase more equipment in the future.
Community members living near the 16 UNC system campuses have come together to find solutions to problems that affect them all. Chapel Hill Mayor Rosemary Waldorf led the way in the formation of a new caucus that'll address the common problems related to college campuses. Issues such as expansion, construction, student parking, and off-campus parties all have citizens concerned and talking about possible solutions. Caucus members are also concerned that municipalities sometimes provide extra security officers and firefighters for events without being fully reimbursed for the cost. Mayors of 9 cities attended the most recent meeting, which was held right here in Chapel Hill.
The cold and rainy weather hasn't prevented some students from getting a healthy glow.
We'll tell you why this glow may not be as healthy as people think, next on Carolina Week.
I hang out with a pretty trashy circle. The circle that helps this circle by recycling trash. We sort glass, plastic, separate cans, stack newspapers and magazines. Now, thanks to us, there are lots of products made from things we've already recycled. This cereal box wants your Sunday paper. These paper clips, in a more daring life, of 56 convertibles. The circle works like this. It starts when we recycle trash at home and at work. It's completed when we buy products made from or packaged in recycled materials. How do you know the difference? Check the label for something called post-consumer recycled content. It looks like this. Make a mental note. Then buy the highest percentage of it you can find. You'll save a tree, you'll save energy, and in your own way, you'll help save the world. Complete the circle.
Call 1-800-2-RECYCLE for your free shopping guide. Environmental Defense, finding the ways that work.
One politician is already paving the campaign trail for the national election in 2004. Ralph Nader spoke Wednesday afternoon to students and the community in Girard Hall at UNC-Chapel Hill. The Green Party candidate opened himself up to questions as the audience opened its wallets. He asked audience members to donate $10 each toward his campaign. Nader is rallying support for the next presidential election, support he needs from North Carolina voters to put him on the ballot.
No storm in the Northeast isn't the only thing that has the airline industry in an uproar. Travel plans could be in an uproar too. Strikes against some of the biggest airlines in the country could come during some of the busiest travel days of the year, including spring break. Several unions have voted to strike on March 12th if negotiations fail. If union workers go on strike, travelers could have to suffer through flight cancellations and be stuck in the airport rather than lounging on the beach. Many students heading south for spring break are trying to look their best before putting on their swimsuits. For some students, that means doing some indoor tanning before leaving Chapel Hill. Carolina Week's Caroline Patterson tells us doctors question whether that's really a good idea.
Student Amy Wolf is getting ready for a spring break trip to the East Coast. Wolf says she and many of her friends have started going to a tanning salon 2 to 3 times a week to be brown before their vacation.
With spring break coming, everybody wants to be dark, both so they can look good in their bathing suits, and plus that way they don't burn as badly if they go on a cruise or to the beach or Cancun, wherever. Having a little bit of a base tan helps out a lot.
Others like Wolf enjoy the convenience of indoor tanning. Only 20 minutes in, and a bronze tan coming out, rain or shine. According to Smart Tan Network, tanning beds, if used properly, can be safer than tanning under the sun. The group says tanning beds reduce the risk of sunburn by controlling the amount of exposure to ultraviolet light. But a dermatologist at UNC Hospitals, Dr. Heidi Jacoby, says the ultraviolet A radiation in tanning beds penetrates deeper into the skin and can cause damage to the DNA of living cells.
Our concern is that those UVA rays can be just as cancer promoting as the UVB rays in natural sunlight. What's also very concerning is there's a link between the UVA rays and melanoma, which is the most dangerous type of skin cancer to have.
People afraid of taking the risk involved in using tanning beds can always wait for the warmer weather to tan naturally, but they should still keep track of time and wear sunscreen. Dr. Jacoby says there's no truly safe way to tan, as tanning itself is a sign of damage to the skin. She says students who tan regularly may not see the signs of aging and skin cancer caused by UVA radiation until 10 to 20 years later, and that could be too late. In Chapel Hill, I'm Caroline Patterson, Carolina Week.
Dermatologists say if you observe a change in size, shape, or color of a mole, you should report it immediately to your doctor. If you feel that you must have a tan, self-tanning lotions appear to be the safest alternative.
Not too many things are free these days, but some things on UNC-Chapel Hill's campus are. The Lab Theater, an entirely student-run theater company, produces 12 shows a year, and all are free and open to the public. You're looking at scenes from the Lab's production of David Mamet's Speed the Plow, which is a satire about show business. Established in 1946, the Lab Theater is the oldest student theater group on Carolina's campus. Lab Theater is partially funded by the Department of Dramatic Art and Student Congress. The Lab will feature 2 plays next month, the tragic comedy How I Learned to Drive in early April, followed by The Promise.
To kick off a new exhibition at the Ackland Art Museum, 2 Buddhist monks are spending a month in Chapel Hill creating a mandala, which is a colorful mosaic of sand. The making of the mandala is a ritual that takes 3.5 weeks to complete. The 2 monks are from a Buddhist monastery in New York. They first outlined the mandala using basic tools like rulers, markers, and Scotch tape. They'll fill in the 5.5-foot pattern with sand and colored dyes using a cone-shaped instrument to funnel the sand into intricate designs. The monks will destroy their creation in a couple of weeks after they finish it. They'll dump the sand into the water. This final step symbolizes the Buddhist ideal of not being attached to the material world. The monks will be working on the mandala until March 21st. Then they'll destroy it on June 8th.
We're only a week into March and the winds are really picking up.
Carolina Week's Kelly Mahoney is here to tell us if we're going to be expecting any calmer conditions.
Well, that's true. March certainly has come in like a lion, as we've seen with the windy weather earlier in this week. We tend to expect strong winds in March, though. So for this week's weather question, see if you can pick the strength of North Carolina's highest March wind speed. Is it A, 19 miles per hour, B, 37 miles per hour, C, 52, or D, 109 miles per hour? I'll be back with your answer and your weekend forecast in just a minute.
Escucha Smokey antes de tratar. Solo tú. No juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego. No hay nada perturbable con el conejo asustado o un pobre ratón sin casa en que vivir. Si un hermoso bosque es lo que deseas, no juegues con fósforos, no juegues con fuego.
Solo tú puedes prevenir los fuegos forestales.
¡Fuego!
Mother taught me. She was
averaging 18%. Balance the budget, increasing clouds for.
UNC-TV. Your remote stops here.
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. Well, we were talking a little bit before about the windy conditions we've been seeing lately. Now let's take a look outside and see how Carolina students are handling these bitter cold conditions and wind chills. You can see Carolina students outside in the pit taking a look at this furry creature who's probably used to a lot warmer weather than we've got here right now. Now the good news is the winds are going to be dying down come the weekend, and with the weekend comes spring break. Now if you're wondering what the weather's going to be like in your spring break destination, here's a forecast for the beginning of next week. Now if you don't like what you see, don't worry quite yet, as the weather is bound to change over the course of spring break. Now if you're headed out to Panama City, Florida, you can expect cloudy skies and highs in the 70s. Now Cancun looks like your best bet with sunny skies and highs in the mid-80s. If you're headed down to Daytona Beach in Florida, cloudy skies, highs in the 70s. In Wilmington, we're going to see rain for the first part of next week, highs just in the 60s. And if you're staying around here in Chapel Hill, I'm sorry to report rain for the first part of next week and highs just in the lower 50s. But we will be getting past that after the beginning of next week. As you can see, our major weather producer this week is a cold front pushing through the mid-Atlantic and the southeast. Now, this won't bring us much weather for this weekend coming, but into Monday and Tuesday, we might see some of this moisture being dragged up from the Gulf. So that will bring us a few showers on Monday and Tuesday, but past that, things are looking good. Now, for your Carolina Week 4-day forecast, you can see highs on Friday, 52. On Saturday, we cool down a little bit to 47. On Sunday, we're going to go back up a little, up into the 50s, 57. And on Monday, we see those showers move back in with a high of 59 degrees. Now, if you're headed down to the beach this weekend to start your spring break off there, it looks pretty good. On Saturday, we have a high of 56 and a low of just 42. And on Sunday, 65 degrees and a high of a low of 45. Now, if you're headed out to the mountains, things a little bit cooler there, but still nice. Saturday, a high of 49 and a low of 28. On Sunday, we'll see a high of 51, and Sunday night, we might see a chance of a shower, but things look good out there this weekend as well. Now, if you are headed out to the mountains and you're interested in doing some skiing, this might be your last chance to do it. Appalachian's still open with 7, Sugar Mountain with 17, but the rest of the slopes are pretty much closed. So, did you get a chance to think about that weather question?
I would think after yesterday's winds, I could not believe how tough they were blowing. I would think 37 miles per hour.
It's actually 52 miles per hour, as March does tend to be our windiest month.
Gosh.
So, yeah, and that's a sustained wind. Over 5 seconds of 52 miles per hour. That's
scary thoughts.
Yeah. 6-mile-an-hour winds kill you. Just imagine 52.
Yeah.
Thanks, Callie. Now, Ayanna Banks is here with sports. That was a very tough and disappointing one for us, for our Heels on Sunday.
The Tar Heels got off on the wrong foot for March Madness.
Yeah, it was a very difficult loss, but they have to forget the game and regroup and get ready for tournament play. Coming up in sports, we'll recap the Duke game, the women trying to keep their season alive, and we'll talk about the importance of fundamentals. Going to break, the ACC men's basketball tournament starts this weekend weekend. Carolina plays Friday at noon against either Clemson or Florida State. If they win, they will play either UVA or Georgia Tech on Saturday at 1:30 in the semis. And hopefully the Heels will be in the finals on Sunday at 1.
The Ronald McDonald House is a nonprofit organization that provides a home away from home for families of children being treated at UNC hospitals. Since opening in 1988, the house has welcomed more than 1,000 families each year to stay at this safe haven. The house relies heavily on community support. How can you help? Become a volunteer. Help the house that love built. The Ronald McDonald House, the house with a heart.
Welcome back. Round 1 of the classic Duke-Carolina men's basketball rivalry went to the Heels in a nail-biter. Round 2 went to the Devils in an emphatic way. On the first play of the game, Brendan Haywood makes a strong statement on senior day with this dunk. Duke playing without Carlos Boozer, who fractured his foot. He's out indefinitely, but even without Boozer, Duke is too much. Forte with the steal and easy dunk, right? No. Shane Battier with the great block. Jason Williams leads the scoring with 33 for the Blue Devils. Duke ties UNC for the ACC regular season championship as the Devils win 95-81. After losing 3 of their past 5 games, the Heels must regroup for the ACC tournament starting this week. Brendan Haywood says that this team still has a lot of confidence.
Because we're number 1 in the ACC tournament, so we have the number 1 seed. We had a great year. We shared some time at number 1. We're 20-something and whatever. This team has enjoyed a lot of success this year, and Duke-Carolina game doesn't define this team.
Although the men don't start their ACC tournament until this week, the Wind crowned their champion this past weekend. The Heels came into the tourney as the number 7 seed. The Heels and the Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets kicking off March Madness, and it's the LaQuanda Barksdale show in this game. Barksdale had 25 points, including this 3, and also added 10 rebounds. But the Yellow Jackets hanging tough. Naisha Butler with the rebound and putback. The Heels are too much on this day, winning 79-64 and snapping a 3-game losing streak. In the quarterfinals, the Lady Heels, trying to upset the Tigers, see their dream fall short. The Heels lose this one to the 25th ranked Tigers, 75-57. The Heels now await word about possible postseason play. With the ACC and the NCAA tournaments close at hand, every point counts to see who goes on and who goes home. Carolina Week's Joe Disney has one part of the game that sometimes gets overlooked.
Three-pointers, fast breaks, and slam dunks bring fans to their feet. Yet it is sound fundamentals that win college basketball games, most notably free points earned with free throws. Looking at the numbers, free throws can mean the difference between a win and a loss. In 4 of Carolina's 5 losses, the Heels shot less than 50% from the line, well below the season average of 66%, and missed opportunities loom larger in the postseason.
Making or missing free throws can make or break games. They can be the difference between advancing and going home.
Every game comes down to 1 or 2 possessions, and if you've missed 5 or 7 free throws, you lose by 1. That's big, so you want to knock down all your free throws if you can.
So what are the keys to being good from the free throw line?
Make sure I'm on balance in my stance and just to concentrate on the goal itself and make sure my form is pretty good.
You have to block everything out and just concentrate on your mechanics and putting the ball in the basket.
For some, that means having a pre-shot routine.
I started that probably my senior year of high school because we played in a lot of big tournaments and a lot of hostile crowds, and that was just something I did to relax.
While we've covered a lot about the basics of free throw shooting, and it seems fairly simple, there is one other loud aspect we haven't covered yet.
You have to know within yourself that you can go up there and just knock the shots down. But I think that's more like a mental thing.
Mental, physical, fate, or fortune. Being at the line can often mean having the game on the line and on your shoulders. It's madness, March Madness. In Chapel Hill, I'm Joe Disney, Carolina Week.
The men's ACC tournament is this weekend in Atlanta. After losing 2 straight, the UNC men's tennis team is back on track after shaking things up and making new doubles combinations. The Heels hosted the UNC Charlotte 49ers Monday to test the new strategy. Freshman Nicholas Monroe teams with senior David Cheatwood in a drama-filled doubles match resulting in a tiebreaker. Carolina with the advantage, Charlotte hits it long, giving the Heels the victory. The singles matches also favor the Heels as they defeat the Niners 6-1. The men next toured Texas during spring break and face number 9 Texas, number 5 Texas A&M, and Rice University. On a side note, women's tennis also won this week, so
excellent.
Good job to both of them.
We wish the tennis players good luck over spring break.
Great. Thanks, Ayana.
A certain Franklin Street smoothie shop is one of many hotspots for Carolina students, and today there were an unprecedented number of customers.
Find out why so many people wanted a taste of crazy juice when Carolina Week continues.
UNC-TV brings you the best seat in the house, yours.
A stroke is a brain attack. It's the 3rd leading killer in North Carolina. Warning signs appear suddenly. Sudden severe headache, vision problems, trouble speaking, numbness on one side of the body. We're all at risk. Know the symptoms so you can get medical help fast. For information about stroke, contact the American Heart Association at 1-800-AHA-USA1.
College students always seem to be strapped for cash.
So when a Franklin Street juice joint offers 50-cent smoothies, students just can't pass them up. A smoothie juice store next to Michael Jordan's 23 restaurant celebrated Customer Appreciation Day on Wednesday. Students and residents packed into Crazy Juice to taste the exotic smoothies that the store is known for. The line inside twisted and turned along the counter, but with 50-cent smoothies on sale, customers say it's worth the 25-minute wait.
Well, I make smoothies like every day for myself, but I don't have yogurt and black cherry juice and things like that. So I like every once in a while for a treat, I come here anyway, and then for 50 cents you can't beat it. So.
I think after doing that story this morning, I could definitely go for a smoothie right now, despite the cold.
Yeah, and they're good for you.
Excellent. Yes, they are. What's your favorite kind of smoothie? Do you have a favorite?
I haven't been out there in a while, but they have a California Breeze. It's really good.
It's
orange juice, yogurt.
Nice. I like pineapple. You know, pineapple, strawberry, I don't know, but it looked like fun. And a lot of people were out there, and they were actually talking about the differences between Crazy Juice and Smoothieville and all the...
Well, I'm sure if they were 50 cents every day, we'd buy them every day.
Exactly. That does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thank you for joining us, and be sure to come back next week. Until then, have a good night and a good week.
Good night.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at ibiblio.org/CW. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNC-Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.